Namaste, namaskaram. Depending on when you're listening to this, it's either the upcoming or the published book, the Nat Sutra. This is a tying up, literally. The meaning of sutra is thread. And this is entitled the slash, the context-dependent operator, and wake up and dream. The Nat Sutra has been all about recognizing extremes in the ongoing attempt to live a balanced life. In the very essential meanings of religio, to bind, to tie, yuj, to yoke, and dri, to hold, the goal has always been the attempt to tie up all the loose ends or threads, if you will. Unless one is under a very abusive and restrictive lifestyle, the choices are always up to us. In this essay, we look at something we have often overlooked, and it is a recognition of division and connection in the observer. A single mark, the slash, quietly performs a profound task. It joins conjunctive, and it divides disjunctive. It connects and it separates. The mark we call the slash, once known as the virguli, meaning a little twig, and also the solidas, meaning a coin. It quietly holds within it a dual power that mirrors the human condition itself. A twig connects. A coin has three sides. Think about it. A sutra or thread demonstrates continuity, and a wall separates. When used conjunctively, the slash becomes a thread, a sutra which binds together. It reveals relationships, this and that. Examples of conjunctive are mind-body, rights-duties, love-truth, Hindu yoga, religion-spirituality. The virguli, or a twig, is not an imposition, it's part of a living system. It grows, connects, branches, and contributes to the wholeness of the tree. Here again, the slash becomes like a sutra, a thread, like religio, religion, yuj, yoga, and dri, dharma. It links, it yokes, it holds things together. It offers relationship, teacher-student. It invites coexistence, body, mind, spirit, if you will. And this is not a forced unity, but organic interconnection. Like a thread, each little twig matters. Each connection contributes to the living whole. This is the conjunctive slash, the one that says these can stand together. In the Hatha Yoga of Hinduism, for example, we have a vivid example of vrikshasana or tree pose. In general, from the roots to the fruit, we see connection from ethics roots to trunk reaching up, devotion, to the many twigs, branches, leaves, and flowers, meditation, through the fruit of enlightenment. Respectively and specifically, these threads are seen in the classic four yogas of Hinduism: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. Now the slash can also be disjunctive. Winners, losers. My team, your team. God, devil. Atheist, theist. Right wing, left wing. Basically meism, or me against you. Of course, in the many games of life, one can choose to be a good sport or a bad sport. Disjunctive results in division, contrast, and exclusion. All parts of life. Jung's entire system revolves around a tension between opposites: ego, self, consciousness, unconsciousness. conscious, unconscious, persona, shadow. William James contrasted or thinking and thinking. Now the solidas is the coin as divider. The same slash is known as the solidas, and it becomes something entirely different. Here's the history. Around 312 CE, Emperor Constantine introduced the solidas as a new gold coin, binding together currency and politics. And since it was Constantine who greatly aided the state recognition of Christianity, a religious significance as well. Pause a moment. Reflect on the connection of capital and money, slash money, capital slash state, and capital G, God. This connection can also serve as a great divider. The same slash can become a barrier, a wall, in a sense saying, how are you using me? As a bridge, as a boundary, as a weapon, as a thread? The mark itself is neutral. The meaning emerges from intention. Now, when the slash is a sutra or a thread, it's a conjunctive. Like a twig, each thread is vital in producing the finished fabric. Leave out any thread, and will eventually cause the fabric to unwind. It's not a coincidence that the Yoga Sutras are appropriately named thusly. Like all four progressive yogas of Hinduism, each sutra is absolutely necessary to comprehend the totality of this one of six Hindu philosophy. Weaving and textiles have always been an integral part of Indian and Hindu culture. Mahatma Gandhi would daily sit at his spinning wheel. When the slash becomes an extreme wall of separation, conflict arises. The Nat principle makes it clear that many are on one side of the wall claiming absolute fundamentalism, while others remain on the other side, naively and often arrogantly, voicing a misplaced universalism. Thus the slash becomes a mirror of human consciousness. The slash becomes a symbol of human choice. There's a time to connect, and there's a time to disconnect. There's a time to build a wall, and time to take down the wall. Every conflict, every resolution of conflict can be traced to how we place the slash. Again, it reveals whether we see the world as divided or connected, and there's times for both. The slash is a barrier when used disjunctively. The slash becomes a line of separation. It draws boundaries, clarifies distinctions, and forces decisions, right, wrong, sacred, profane, self, other. And importantly, without division, there is no discernment. Without discernment, there's no ethics. Without ethics, there's no profound structure. The slash is a binder when used conjunctively. It brings things together. It's a bridge of inquiry. It is a thread that weaves things together. However, the slash, being neutral, can be a pause between possibilities. It can mean being uncommitted, pending context. It can be ambiguity and indecision. Once a young girl was asked, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And she said, "I want to be a singer/songwriter," with the emphasis on the slash. Now, who knows what she actually meant? Did she want to become one or the other? Did she want to stand in the middle? Did she want to become both? Now, the slash can also represent a state of renunciation, if you will, a post-operative slash, a transcendental state, as the Beatles said, quote unquote, the fool on the hill. And they further said nobody likes him or understands him. As a metaphor for life decisions, thus, the slash can be transcendental, the sage all alone. It can be pseudo-neutral, in the sense of avoidance of never taking sides. And it can be intricative, not stuck in neutrality, but not forced into one side or the other, but having known each side. However, to many the slash is totally invisible. How many thought we'd talk about the slash in this essay? Thus being stuck on one side or the other. So simply, the slash can be invisible, avoided, integrated, or transcended, depending on the level of awareness of the one encountering it. Our awareness defines the slash. Interesting how this one mark of punctuation aligns with being punctual. In other words, too early creates confusion. Too late, loss of meaning. On time, clarity and flow. Now, importantly, who decides on the above? We do. It is, in essence, a context-dependent operator, CDO. A symbol whose meaning is not fixed, but revealed by the consciousness that uses it. Its function is determined not only by context, but also knowledge or lack thereof. For example, Hindu/yoga go together, conjunctive. Or, yoga is not Hindu, disjunctive. A deity is often a CDO. A divine form reveals different meanings depending on the observer. Across traditions, religious figures shift meaning, depending upon interpretation, and psychology or meaning arises through projection and interpretation. Two people can look at the same thing and come out with totally different conclusions. You often see this with modern art. Now, avoiding indecision and also avoiding being stuck, the Nat insight is achieved in knowing when to divide, when to connect, and when to transcend. The mind lacking development is trapped on one side. The non-committal / confused mind hides inside the slash. The balanced mind uses the slash. The awakened mind can drop it altogether. Now, balance is not the absence of movement between opposites, but the master of movement itself. Like Shiva Nataraja. It's on the cover of the Nat Sutra. The wisdom to know when to divide, when clarity is needed, when to unite, when wholeness is required, and when to transcend, when both are no longer needed. Wake up and dream / dream and wake up. A simple phrase can open an inner door. Wake up and dream. At first, it might sound poetic, but contradictory. To wake is to leave the dream behind. To dream is to depart from waking. Yet placed together, the phrase resists the ordinary logic of separation. Can we be awake and dreaming at the same time? And that has both a negative and a positive connotation. Can we dream and then truly wake up? Between these two movements lies not a contradiction, but perhaps a path. The first movement, wake up, dream. To wake up is to see clearly structure, limits, facts, from clarity into vision. To wake up and dream is to allow imagination to arise from awareness. The second movement is to dream and wake up. To dream is to enter possibility, vision, and the unformed. From vision into clarity. To dream and wake up is to bring vision into form. The creative lives of Einstein, Tesla, Edison, Da Vinci, Disney, just for example, all move between clarity and imagination, imagination into clarity. Imagine, dream, create, relax. Repeat the cycle. The balance. To wake without losing wonder. To dream without losing clarity and rationality. To wake is to see what is. To dream is to see what could be. To live fully is to move, dance between them. How many sides to the coin?